Have you ever felt like you're watching your dreams slip through your fingers, like grains of sand in an hourglass? Perhaps you're sitting there right now, watching this video, feeling that familiar ache of wanting more from life, but not knowing where to start. Well, I'm about to share a story that might just change everything for you. The story of Jake, an ordinary person who discovered an extraordinary truth about transformation. You see, Jake was just like many of us. Every morning, he'd wake up to his blaring alarm, drag himself to a job that paid the bills but didn't feed his soul, and return home too exhausted to spend quality time with his family. His savings account was always hovering near empty, his gym membership card was collecting dust, and his relationships were starting to feel as shallow as small talk at a coffee shop. But Jake had dreams. He dreamed of financial freedom, of having enough savings to take his family on that vacation they'd been talking about for years. He dreamed of having the energy to play with his kids without getting winded after 5 minutes. He dreamed of deep, meaningful conversations with his wife, like the ones they used to have when they first met. The problem wasn't that Jake didn't want to change. The problem was that change felt like trying to climb Mount Everest in flip-flops. Every time he thought about making a change, his mind would flood with excuses. I'll start when work settles down, or I'll begin after the holidays, or the classic, I'm just too busy right now. Sound familiar? But one ordinary Wednesday morning, while mindlessly scrolling through his favorite blog during his daily commute, Jake stumbled upon a quote that would change everything. The first step toward change is awareness. Now Jake had seen plenty of inspirational quotes before. His social media feed was full of them. But this one was different. It wasn't asking him to make a massive change overnight. It wasn't telling him to hustle harder or rise and grind. It was simply suggesting something he'd never considered before. Before you can change something, you need to truly understand it. The article went on to challenge readers to pick just one area of their life they wanted to improve and spend 1 week simply observing it. No judgments, no immediate changes, just pure awareness. Jake, feeling both skeptical and intrigued, decided to focus on his finances. After all, his credit card bill had been giving him anxiety attacks lately, so he started small. Really small. He bought a simple notebook, nothing fancy, just a basic spiral-bound pad from the dollar store, and made a commitment to write down every single penny he spent. Not next month, not when he got organized, but right now. His first entry was the $4.75 he spent on his morning coffee. At first, this simple act of tracking felt about as exciting as watching paint dry. Write down $4.75 for coffee. Write down $12.50 for lunch. Write down $3 for a snack from the vending machine. But then, something interesting started to happen. By day 3, Jake found himself hesitating before buying his usual afternoon snack. Not because anyone was telling him not to buy it, but because the simple act of having to write it down made him question whether he really wanted it. By the end of the first week, patterns began emerging from his notebook, like hidden messages written in invisible ink. That morning coffee wasn't just $4.75. It was $23.75 a week, $95 a month, over $100 a year. Those random Amazon purchases he'd been making when he was bored at work, they added up to more than his car payment. But here's where the magic really happened. Jake's newfound awareness began to naturally inspire action. Nobody had to tell him to cut back on spending. His own awareness led him to make different choices. He started bringing coffee from home, not because he was forcing himself to budget, but because his heightened awareness made him realize he actually preferred the taste of his home-brewed coffee. Energized by these insights, Jake decided to expand his awareness experiment. He started tracking his food choices, not counting calories or following a diet, but simply noting what he ate and how it made him feel. He tracked his daily activities and energy levels. He even started tracking the moments when he felt most connected to his family. The results were nothing short of transformative. Patterns emerged in every area he tracked. He discovered that he had the most energy for playing with his kids after eating a light lunch. He realized that his best conversations with his wife happened during their weekend morning walks. He found that he actually enjoyed cooking at home more than eating out. It became a family activity rather than just a means to fill their stomachs. Within 3 months, Jake's small act of awareness had snowballed into genuine, lasting change. His bank account started growing instead of shrinking. His energy levels soared. His relationships deepened. But here's the most beautiful part. None of these changes felt forced. They emerged naturally from his increased awareness, like a flower blooming in spring. Now I can hear some of you thinking, that's great for Jake, but my life is different. My challenges are bigger. And you're right, your journey will be uniquely yours. But the principle remains the same. Awareness precedes change. You can't transform what you don't understand, and you can't understand what you don't observe. So here's my challenge to you. Choose one area of your life, just one, that you'd like to improve. It could be your finances, like Jake. It could be your health, your relationships, your career, or even your spiritual life. For the next 7 days, simply observe it, track it, become aware of it. Don't judge, don't try to change anything yet. Just notice. Get a notebook, use your phone, whatever works for you. But start tracking today, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, today. Because here's the truth. That perfect moment you're waiting for, it's right now. This moment, as you're watching this video, could be the beginning of your transformation story. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step. But before you can take that step, you need to know where you're standing. Awareness is your starting point. It's your foundation. It's the key that unlocks the door to change. And who knows? Maybe a few months from now, you'll be sharing your own story of transformation. Maybe you'll be the one inspiring others to take that first step toward change. Because that's how real transformation works. It starts with one person, one decision, one moment of awareness. So what will you choose to track? What area of your life is calling for your attention? Share your commitment in the comments below. Let's create a community of awareness, supporting each other as we all take those first steps toward positive change. Remember, you don't have to change everything today. You just have to become aware of one thing. That's all it takes to start. And sometimes that's all it takes to change everything. This is your moment. Your journey starts now. With awareness comes power, and with power comes the ability to transform your life, one small observation at a time. Thank you for being here, for taking this first step. Now go grab that notebook, open that tracking app, and start your journey toward awareness. Your future self will thank you for starting today. Until next time, stay aware, stay inspired, and keep taking those small steps toward your dreams. Because sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life.